Hello everyone and welcome to UK Media Warrior. And this edition is just getting in before the New Year's Eve one, just when we saw Passengers, starring Jennifer Lawrence, Chris Pratt, Michael Sheen and Lawrence Fishburne. Now this film has had its detractors. It's around 30% on Rotten Tomatoes right now, so that's about mediocre reviews from all the critics that have currently seen it. I think the problem with this film is we didn't really get any trailers for it until a couple of months ago. Now that's unusual for a movie with these bigger name stars in it, Jennifer Lawrence, Chris Pratt. Normally a film like this, we would have got trailers months ago. But we really didn't start seeing anything until a couple of months. We got a poster, possibly two posters before the trailer. But the trailer itself only really came out a couple of months ago, and then we got like a barrage of them, which are pretty much the same scenes over and over, just cut in a different way. After seeing this film and sleeping on it, because I felt I needed to sleep on it, because this was a weird one for me, I've come to the conclusion that the trailers are misleading. Now, trailers as a rule tend to be misleading. Their purpose is to make a film look appealing to people, so you go to the cinema, you pay for your ticket, you sit down, you watch the movie. What the movie turns out to be is almost irrelevant. As long as the trailer has done its job and got you to pay for your ticket, the cinemas don't really care, the studios really don't care, because they've got your money and they've got your bum in the seat to watch the movie, so that's fine, that's all the trailer has to do. But this trailer is... Do you remember Rogue One? And when I did that review, I said that like 80% of the trailer footage wasn't in the movie. Well, that was misleading because they were telling you a whole different story in the trailers for Rogue One than what you saw on the screen. However, in this one, everything you see in the trailers you get to see on screen, but they've cut it in such a way that it's almost... you're getting a totally different film. And the reason I say this is because the film is cut... well, every film is Act 1, 2 and 3. This film is definitely Act 1, 2 and 3. And I say that because it's very firmly cut into pieces. There's 3 parts of this story. The first part is Chris Pratt waking up alone on this ship, the Avalon, which has to be the most Art Deco looking ship I've ever seen. It's the most weird looking spacecraft I've ever seen. Not exactly well built, I wouldn't have thought. Just quickly going off topic here slightly. When I first saw that ship in the trailers, I was thinking, this is a colony ship? It looks like a Christmas ornament. It's so thin and fragile looking, as if anything's going to break this damn thing. It's so fragile. Anyway, so Chris Pratt wakes up alone. Obviously, you've seen the film. It's a spoiler review. So Chris Pratt wakes up alone, as you know, and then he has to spend the first third of the film basically just living a bachelor lifestyle. His only companion is Michael Sheen, as the android bartender. And then he decides, well, this is getting, I can't deal with this now. I'm either going to commit suicide or I've got to wake up somebody to keep me company. So he wakes up Aurora, Jennifer Lawrence. And then we're into the middle of the film, the second part of the film, the second act. And that's them two getting together, getting to know each other, having a romance. And all the way through, tiny, niggly little problems with the ship, obviously, as you know, happen. And then the third act kicks in where... she finds out that he woke her up deliberately to keep him company, and then everything starts going kablooey on the ship. Lawrence Fishburne is woken up because his pod malfunctions, which is a bit of luck, because if he hadn't woken up, I'm not entirely sure where the plot would have gone, because he was necessary for the story to move forward. If he hadn't been there, they wouldn't have been able to save the ship and they would have blown up. So he had to be there. It's like they were writing this story and they got to this part where, okay, we've got Jennifer Lawrence, we've got Chris Pratt, they're on the ship, things are going wrong. They're trying to find out what's going wrong. Oh shit, we've already said earlier on in the film that he can't get into the bridge because his ID isn't enough, and he can't get into here because his ID is not enough. How do we get him in here? Okay, we'll wake up one of the crew. We only need one of the crew who's got enough security pass to get into the areas we need Chris Pratt to get into. So we'll do that, and then we'll off that crew member and get back to Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence. That's how it seems, and that's how it comes across. It's not very well done. It's very, very manipulated in that sense. It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't flow. The story towards the end is very by the numbers. I mean, I was sitting there watching it, and the bit where he's out in space and his tether breaks and he's floating through space and he's going to be lost, and Jennifer Lawrence goes out in her spacesuit and launches herself out to grab him. I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, her tether's not going to be long enough and they're going to stop her just short of Chris Pratt. Oh, there you go. That's exactly what's happened. Okay, what's going to happen next bit? Well, his tether's still flying around, so I'm sure that will get close enough for her to grab. Bang! There you go. That's exactly what's happened. And pretty much from that point on, it was paint by numbers for this film. I mean, it was just almost stupid in that, you know, they were throwing realism out of the window and they were just going for what they obviously thought was what the audience would want to see. The thing is, this film looks great. The sets are fantastic. The visual effects are amazing. That's fine. They've got that down. But the story really doesn't hold up. The plot doesn't hold up. It's very weak. And to be honest, Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt are two amazing actors. But the two people in this film that stole the show from me are Michael Sheen as the android bartender and Lawrence Fishburne as the chief who comes out of suspended animation for like 20 minutes or whatever to help them out and then dies. Those two, to me on screen at least, were more interesting than Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt, who you get to spend the majority of the film with. So, you know, I don't think it's Pratt and Lawrence's fault. I think they did the best they could with what they were given, but they just weren't really that interesting to me. Like I say, in other words, you know, when the android bartender, you know, outperforms your main star, then you know you've got a slight problem. I mean, Michael Sheen wasn't exactly given a lot to work with. He only had the odd one-liner here or there. But his facial expressions, the way he, without saying anything, the way he sort of, I don't know how to describe it, but when you see the film, you'll probably know what I'm getting at. You know, he's just standing there listening to Chris Pratt, and your eyes are on him. Your eyes aren't on Chris Pratt. You know, it's like he just has this way of grabbing your attention without even saying a word. And Lawrence Fishburne just brings class to anything he's in anyway, so, you know, that was a no-brainer. He was going to be fantastic. And the fact that he upstages these two younger, up-and-coming action stars, well, you know, I suppose we could see that coming as well. So anyway, Passengers. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to give this one a 5 out of 10. It really is mid-range. It's not that good. Now we know why they took so long to give us the trailers, and in the trailers all they're pretty much given us is snippets from the third act, sandwiched in there out of order, with a couple of tender moments from like Act 2 where Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt's characters have their romance. That's pretty much it. That's all they've done. They've just mashed it together in such a way that we think that they're going to be together from the beginning and the action's going to be pretty much all the way through the film. That's not the case. They're together from like Act 2 onwards, and the action really only kicks in from Act 3 onwards. So it's very misleading trailers. The film isn't really that good. It's not put together very well. The writing is weak. The plot is weak. The acting's good for what they're given, but like I say, overall, 5 out of 10. Wasn't really excited by this film at all, and I came out feeling rather disappointed, to be honest, because I like Chris Pratt, and Jennifer Lawrence has had her misses, especially as Mystique in the X-Men, but I think she's a good actress. She just didn't seem to shine in this film really for me. She was just there to look good, which she can do in her sleep, and that was pretty much it. So yep, there you go. Passengers, 5 out of 10. Bit of a whimper to end the year on, 2016. But then that's been pretty much 2016 all the way through. I will see you guys in 2017, where we will pick up more movie reviews and try and get in a few more TV reviews on this one. I look forward to seeing you guys then. You take care until then. Have a great New Year's, whatever you're doing. Have fun. See you in 2017. Bye for now.